Hey y'all, this is AL Thick Madame and Cinnamon Sugar, and I did this video this morning, but I want to try to condense it as much as possible because I keep leaving stuff out, and I think because I was so frustrated I went on way longer than I should. So I'm gonna try my best to do what I can. Y'all pray for me, pray over this video before it even gets started, because hopefully I'll be able to cut it down a lot. So one of the things that I forgot to tell y'all was, y'all know I went back to work on Tuesday. Actually got my 2 days off, hallelujah in the name. My period was in the process of coming on, right? So I actually was okay Tuesday. I was all right this morning, but when I got home, it was doing a lot. And that's because I have been eating terribly. It is what it is. Like, a lot of people don't understand that if you change the way you eat and drink, you got to try to figure out if your period even on at this point. I'm just being real with you. I done did it before. I know it worked. So I'm just saying, that's my fault. I've been eating like trash. I've been eating my feelings, y'all, and I'm trying to understand why I'm so emotional and why I'm so distant and why I'm so depressed. And like my friend at work, he said he's in the same predicament, and he said he's been gaining a little weight here and there, which is actually good for him, because when he was going through everything with the wife, he really was losing weight. And like he's like a naturally, like, kind of like, I don't even want to say thick, he likes I had the word he like, I don't know why I can't think of the word. If I could think of it and I put it in the, I'll just put it in the video. I don't know why I can't think of the word. But anyway, he one of those where he ain't fat, like, at all. He's not fat, but he's like, oh my gosh, I hate that I can't think of the word. So anyway, but when everything was going on and he was calling out a lot and his beard was suffering and all that stuff because of the stress that he was under, because of everything his wife was putting him through, you could tell that, you know, it was a mess. Like, you could really tell by the way he looked. He was losing weight. He was sad. His demeanor was completely different. Like, I didn't know what was going on. I thought that he was just tired. I thought he was just drained. But then come to find out, it was really because of everything that was going on with the wife. And I didn't know all that was going on. And just in case I forgot to tell y'all about that, because I feel like I be forgetting to tell y'all vital things. So y'all know the dude who I'm actually talking about in this moment is the dude who is, you know, he sound like T-Pain, all of that, whatever, right? Child, the wife be sitting up there, and I don't know if she go on his social media or what she be doing, but she be setting it off. And so she's accusing him of having dealings with other people or whatever, and that's the furthest thing for his mind at this moment. He literally goes to the parks around this area, and he like trains his dog. He's really into training his dog to do little tricks and stuff like that. And that actually is one of the things in life that makes him happy. It's been helping him to get through all the stuff he's going through, right? So that's all he do. And now he's finally back on a better sleep regimen or whatever. And so it's like, girl, what are you talking about? And so he gave me a heads up. He was like, you know she gonna probably say, you know, you gonna be next. I was like, what you talking about? What? I said, what you say? Because I was like, I know he ain't say what I think he said. He was like, you gonna be next. I don't even talk to this man. I sent him messages on social media over a month ago. He ain't even opened them yet because he don't be on social media like that. But that's the way I communicate with most of my friends. I send them memes all day, stuff like that. So since I know he's not on there like that, I understand that. And so I limit it. Make sure I separate that. And I don't send him as much because it's like, what's the reason? And I'm not finna go out on land and be like, hey, give me your number. And no, like, if he ever want to extend it and hand it to me, then I can text him and send him little memes and stuff that way too, because that's literally all I do with some of the people that I actually talk to. When we do text, we send each other screenshots of random stuff that's being said, and memes and gifts and all that little stuff. So that was one of the situations. So then Tuesday when I came in, y'all, to make a long story short, somebody did not want to work back there in the new department with another person, and they didn't see me yet because I was running late. Y'all, tell me why. Okay, so where I live, there are so train tracks. I don't know what it's about, but they're active. A lot of trains and stuff be coming through here and all that or whatever, right? Man, one of the trains come through like not far from my job, like 2 minutes, if that, like really less than 2 minutes from my job. Child, I was right there. Like, I had 4 minutes before it was time for me to clock in. Man, the everything came down with the lights. I was like, wait a minute. So as soon as I picked up my phone to call my job to let them know, because you ain't finna say that I'm late when it ain't my fault. I was here. I was about to be here in park. It wasn't gonna take me no more than 2 minutes to do that. That was gonna give me a minute and a half at the absolute least to be able to get in there. It don't take me that long to walk from the parking lot to the door, through the doors and all that to clock in. I would have been there right on time, and I make a point to get there right on time because I don't want to see them folks like that. So, child, I went and settled that first because in my mind, I'm the breaker. I went down to the bottom of the rotation list. So once you get down to the bottom of the rotation list, 99% of the time, you end up being the breaker. I hate being the breaker. Everybody know I hate being the breaker. I don't care where it is. I don't want to be it. Hate being the breaker. The breaker got to do the absolute most. And for the few people in life that actually like being the breaker, I'm like, if you like being the breaker, more than likely you getting over. You ain't giving people breaks like you supposed to. You not helping with the stuff you supposed to help with because they be putting you through the ringer. That's all I'm gonna say. So anyway, doing all I'm supposed to do with that. So I get up there, I start assessing stuff because I'm like, okay, when you the breaker, certain things you gotta make sure is stocked up so you can replenish it and all that stuff. So that's what I'm saying to myself. I'm like, oh, let me get all this stuff together, whatever, right? Cool. So that's what I'm gonna do. And so I just so happen to walk back up towards another department and I'm getting some stuff together, assessing that. I done put my stuff down like I'm really finna get into my little mode. And I have prepared myself. I already knew this coming into the situation that I'm gonna be the breaker. Well, one of the people rolled up on me and was like, hey, how you doing? I said, I'm fine, how you doing? He was like, I'm good. And so he proceeded to pass along a message that somebody was looking for me and that they wanted to trade with me. And I was like, well, where are they? They told me that they were in a new department. I was like, who all over there? So this other person came over there and he was like, oh, I think, the side heifer over there with his cousin or whatever. So I was like, child, okay, I'm still going over there. It's my department anyway. So in my mind, I'm like, I don't care because I don't do nothing to her. She the one got the personal vendetta against me literally because I exist. And it's like, girl, grow up. You 42 years old. Grow up. You mad at me because you ain't woman enough to say I would like better in my life than to decide to be a side heifer. I want better. I would like to secure a situation that looks nice, that looks decent, that actually looks like something worth mentioning for my son to see. This is not a shining example of what anybody needs to see their mama dealing with. Because this man is screwing his wife, you, and everybody else. But you over here mad at me, somebody who don't want nothing to do with this dusty man. He is the definition of ashy, dusty, community, peen. I don't want none of that. Sorry, I do have standards. I think that people have this weird assumption that because somebody fat that they can't pull people they want to pull, or that they hard up for something. Baby, I'm not hard up for nothing. Not hard up for it. If I want it, I can get it. So it's like, girl, I just be like, what is really going on? So anyway, forget all that. So I get back there, and for some reason I don't see the dude, but I see my buddy standing next to the side heifer. So I was like, he was like, what you doing back here? I said, I've been summoned. So she trying to stand there trying to act like she didn't hear me, and I'm like, I'm country. And I actually can speak clear, unlike her. So it's like, girl, don't try to sit up here and act like you didn't hear what I said. I said, I've been summoned. So anyway, and he was like, what you mean you've been summoned? I was like, I've been summoned. So he, put 2 and 2 together really quickly, and he got pissed off because he was like, I ain't even do nothing. All I did was walk back here. I ain't say nothing to that man. Somebody he ain't liked since the day that they started working together. They came in together. So they had to train together and all this other stuff. So he ended up walking off to like kind of blow off steam. So then I walk around, I go find old boy, and he was like, yeah, I just want to trade, the situation, whatever. Because he had came to me before, and told me what it was last week. And I was like, okay. So he went on by his business. The side heifer went and created something for her to do. And while she was on the way to go do that task, she made a detour, went upstairs to go and retrieve somebody else so that they can trade with her. Oh, so she wouldn't have to be around me. And I'm like, that ain't do nothing but make my day better. Thanks. Because I mean, when I got over there, he told me where he was. I said, okay. I set up shop. She realized I was going to be over there. And I'm like, be mad. Be mad. Go ahead and be mad. I don't care nothing about it. So I set up shop. I ain't bother nobody. I was off to the side. All of that. And so she went and did what she felt like she needed to do, which was be trash, to be a hater, to be mad because everybody live for me and don't nobody live for her. I just be like, oh, you're so mad. It's sad. It's really sad. So anyway, she went and got the one person that makes our whole situation work. So it was the three amigos, the three musketeers, all that, when we all get together anyway. So it's like, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, it has got to the point where in my mind I feel like they kind of try to separate us because they've seen I feel like somebody be reporting back to them like, man, they get along too good. Try y'all best not to have them work together. Child, especially when I worked with old boy that I came back there, the cousin to the other person. Man, when we worked together in our home department, hello down there, we act a fool all day. He the person that would be saying, point of order to Eric Mays stuff. If you ain't never seen none of them clips that people that put together Eric Mays, you missing out. If you need a laugh, watch that. Watch the compilations of that. Woo, that man be had me. You know what? I need to go in the house and watch that because that'll make me laugh hard enough to where it'll kind of break up the stomach pains that I'm having right now, right? Okay. So anyway, so now all three of us back there acting a fool. So I'm getting my entire life. I'm happy. Glad you went on about your business because you don't do nothing but stay gone and go stand up in a whole nother woman's husband's face anyway all day. And then you want to try to drop a dime on somebody else because you mad and hating. Girl, bye. So anyway, I had an amazing day Tuesday. So the way it was going to be was they was going to have old boy back there all week. So I was going to be back there 4 out of the 5 days guaranteed because he was just like, look, if you see either one of these people's name on there and we supposed to work in the same area, which is back here, yeah, go ahead and trade with me. I was like, all right. So I made sure, you know, I rolled up on him to make sure. Later on that day, I was like, hey, I see, you know, the situation. He was like, yeah, if you ever see that, just go ahead. We can go ahead and switch. I was like, okay. So I'm excited because I'm going to get to work in my department. So we get in there today. Child, all of us child, I can't even think of the word. Blindsided. I don't know why I always want to say side something. We all blindsided, like, wait a minute, because in my mind, I'm like, oh, I'm finna go back down. So when I get in there, y'all, I already clocked in late. Instead of 11 till, which is the absolute latest that I can clock in before it's considered a half of an occurrence that you're going to get, I clocked in at 10 till. I don't care, because once I check my occurrences, I'm pretty sure almost all of them fell off anyway. I asked my supervisor, it was kind of close to the end of the day, so if I think about it tomorrow, I'm going to ask him, because he got to be in front of the computer to tell me how many I have. They don't have everything set up yet so I can see for myself, because they do need to hurry up with that, because I'm tired of having to ask supervisors and things, certain things like that. So anyway, so I got a half an occurrence for this morning when I came in, because I was just like, I wasn't feeling it. My stomach was already starting to try me, and I'm like, nope, I'm not feeling it. I don't want to be up in here today. And in my mind, I'm like, oh, I'm so glad I'm in a new department. I'm gonna be able to run back and forth to the bathroom if I need to. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. Get in there, blindsided, foolishness. They end up making it where I'm in the new department. I mean, not in the new department. I'm in the most hated department. But it was a good situation for me. That's all I can really tell you. Oh boy, since he didn't want to be over there, he ended up basically putting himself in a crazy predicament where he had the mule worked out of him. I'm like, oh, I mean, that's what he wanted. Oh well, I ain't gonna stop him. That's less work I gotta do. But I ain't gonna lie, I did a lot of stuff. Like, I was moving. Like, if I would have checked myself, I would have saw that I lost some weight. Like, people think I be joking. Like, I be up in there doing the most, and I'll go home and be the lost 2 to 5 pounds. Like, I be doing the most. So anyway, hopefully tomorrow I'll be back there so that I can enjoy myself for these last 2 days. And then I don't know, it's gonna be a toss-up on Saturday, because worst case scenario, I am supposed to just be in my current home department, so it'll be all right. We'll see how that goes. So anyway, y'all, fast forward. So when I got in there, I knew I had to sign the foolishness, because I didn't give y'all an update because I was so pissed off. I was just like, I'm gonna wait until tomorrow. I'm gonna tell y'all tomorrow. So tomorrow is now. They called me 2 hours after I got off work and basically told me that the job that had been offered to me was the job that I most recently had an interview for. They cannot speak to the interview that I had already had before, which stands for 6 months. No matter how many times I put in for that particular position, they're gonna ask the exact same questions, so there's no reason for them to keep interviewing me over and over again, because they already know what it's gonna be. When I went up there and asked them what I could do to improve or whatever, they said nothing. The interviews were great. Like, there was no feedback to give for something for me to work on. So I'm just like, I don't understand. Y'all, let me tell y'all what happened though. I went to go sign it, right? So the woman that's in there is the same person who encouraged me to sign up for the half of a job. Well, she never got up to get the folder that houses these, I don't even want to tell y'all the name of it, because anyway, the paperwork, let me put it like that, let me say it like that, the paperwork for us to sign. So I saw her yesterday when she retrieved it, and she just never would get up. And so, you know, she asked me what was I gonna do. Did I talk to him? I gave her the rundown and how it's the same, and I just gotta hope that somebody finna get up out of here so I can walk straight into a position. But that's still a slap in the face, because I have been actively putting in for those 2 positions as people have been getting fired, have been leaving and all this other stuff, but you keep passing me over. Child, I'm looking through the folder. The first one I get to is somebody who I don't know, but it was a whole nother job completely unrelated to the new department. Then I get to me, and then I'm like, okay. No, then I get to the girl that I told y'all about. She is socially awkward. She loves working back there too. So I was already happy for her when she told me that she had been applying. Like, I'm genuinely happy for her. I know that she wanted to be back there, but my thing is this: I'm not finna sit up there and be like, man, forget her, I better get a job before she do. Like, I mean, it is what it is, but at the same time, there were several jobs up there, but y'all chose her for the position that I've been putting in for almost a year for. Okay, y'all gave her a full-on job. All right, so then I get to my little job, and so I'm like, okay, it is what it is. So then I'm filling out the paperwork, but there I can feel that there's one more piece of paper. So I'm like, I wonder if this is the last job. I be doggone. I look at the paper, I see that it's the other job that I filled out for the following week after I put in for this job. It's a brand new person who just got off of the 90-day probationary period less than 2 months ago. Meaning this person has not even been at this job for 6 months. But y'all gonna get a job to him. He ain't never been back there before. He ain't never set foot back there. He don't know what it looked like. He don't know what it entails. But y'all done gave a job to him. He got a full-on job back there. I said, okay, I see what time it is. Out of all the people that's in here, I've been here longer than all of them. I've been showing and proving that I deserve to have what I have asked for. I was honest in my interview, and I told y'all what it was hidden for. Y'all live for my answers every single time, and I interview well anyway. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what is it? Like, y'all love trying to hype me up and hype everybody else up about me as a worker, but y'all don't want to give me the job. So y'all, let me not even get excited, because y'all know how I get. That pissed me off, because it's like I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do and then some, but y'all won't give me the job. Y'all giving everybody and their mama the job but me. And that's why I was in complete and utter disbelief that my partner didn't get the job that he put in for. Because, like, what are you talking about? Everybody been trying to poach him since before I ever even stepped foot in the door. Everybody was in shock when they found out he didn't get the job. So I don't think he gonna apply for nothing else no more. Like, it's like, why would you do that? He's an amazing worker. Child, they love trying to try the people who actually, the people who come to work, do what they're supposed to do. Everybody live for them. Everybody can work with them and get along with them. And see, in my situation, I'm not including the side heifer, because she has her own personal stupidity and bias against me for no reason. You screwing somebody, then your emotions getting involved, and it ain't got nothing to do with me. I don't want that dusty man. So, child, she ain't even included in when I say that everybody get along with me, everybody live for me. She ain't even included. So anyway, oh y'all, I was just like, you know what? In my mind, I'm like this. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I'm gonna start peeking at some jobs. I'm gonna start peeking at some social work and casework related jobs, because I feel like when I was searching actively for social work jobs, I was overqualified, right? And this was pre-COVID. Them people wouldn't call me back. Them people wouldn't say nothing to me. And if they did respond, they would say, sorry, blah, 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 blah. Get a job to somebody else. The job back out there a month later. And I'm like, I literally done all this before in Alabama. Everything that y'all put up there as far as the qualifications are concerned, I did all of this when I was a child protective services social worker in Montgomery, Alabama. But y'all want to get a job to somebody else. Okay. Every time I look up, you get a job to somebody else, and then the job was back out there. My mama was even in disbelief, like, wait a minute, like, what is going on? My mama would look at the same jobs and be like, you know they got that job back out there again. I said, Mom, I'm not applying for it no more. When I tell you that it was this one particular job I knew I wanted. I knew I was gonna get it. The first time I applied for it, in my mind, I was like, I know I got this job. Like, I'd have done every single last thing on this thing and then some. Everything they were requiring me to try to, you know, understand that this is gonna be a part of what I'm supposed to do. I done it. I done did that. So it's like, child, keep on, people keep passing me over. I don't understand. Like, if it's meant for me to just have my own business, tell me what that is so I can go ahead and get started on it, Lord. I'm tired. I'm tired of being passed over. What was the last thing I was gonna tell y'all? So yesterday, y'all, the most was going on. To make a long story short, I kept getting a runaround. I kept trying to put in a claim so that I can get my screen fixed. But every time I tried to put in a request for a claim, when it would go through, it would say, hey, the only option you have is to mail it off. But they wouldn't allow me to do it through a P.O. box. And I'm like, yeah, I ain't got time for this. But when everything went down the other week, when I told y'all before, come on, mailman, because I don't know if you got a package for me. I have one more random package. Like, I have a package of bras. Yes! I hope you coming over here to me. I got a package of bras I'm waiting on. Y'all see him pulling up? It's white, but I don't know if y'all can see it or not. You'll see him when they get out the car and come over, like, in this area. But anyway, they might cross the street first. So anyway, hoping they got my stuff while I'm awake. Let me look. I'm looking. But anyway, he looking over there about to get some stuff. So anyway, y'all, to make a long story short, I went through so much just to get my claim to be submitted. Kept saying that my insurance was not going to be accepted. And I'm like, I have Samsung Care. What is going on? It was just too much. And they were like, oh, well, we accept this. Child, I went through so much. When I tell you I'm on the phone with other random people through Samsung, they ain't understand what I was saying. I'm like, Lord, where y'all get these people from? It was too much. So anyway, finally get everything done. The best case scenario for me was going to be for me to drive an hour one way to go and get it fixed. It was gonna be some hours versus me having to wait at the bare minimum 2 weeks from the time that I ship it off and it get there. They get it and they put me in whatever line for me to wait and see whenever they're gonna get to my phone, and then they repair my screen and then they mail it back off. And then, you know, I don't know if a tornado, hurricane, whatever finna come through. You have to understand that you gotta account for that too. It just be so much stuff popping off, and I'm just like, Lord. Well, we figured out what I needed to input so that I could then drive to go get it fixed. I left here around 1 p.m. I got up there literally like 2 or 3 minutes after 2. I don't know how I did it, because I hate places like this because they don't have it where you can hit the interstate and have a consistent speed that you go, with the exception of when they had road work going on. Child, went from going 65 miles per hour to 45 miles per hour, all this other stuff, stopping at stoplights. I just that's why I hate going anywhere. That's why when I finally got out of this state, I was finally able to get to Alabama faster, because I ain't have to go through towns, little towns like this, and child, it be doing the most. Got up there, I checked everything in. They told me it would be like 2.5 hours. I said, okay, child, please. It ended up being 3.5 hours, pretty much. I'm tired. My eyes was hurting before I left the house. So I'm like, Lord, somebody please. Whew, how I'ma make it? Child, on the way up there, every form of police. Ooh, I think it's one of my packages. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Child, I'm trying to see if that's one of my packages. Is he gonna go up the steps? No, no one him. It's small enough for him to fold it up and put it in the thing too. Anyway, y'all, I'm sorry. I'm just concerned because these raggedy people are in there that like to be thieves. So, you know, I don't know. If it's one of my packages, I ain't got time for it to be stolen. I have a couple of amazing bras on the way and I want them right now. Is he going up the steps? No, because he gotta scan everything in. He probably ain't going up the steps. So anyway, y'all, my bad. So every form of police and all of that done got behind me. I'm talking about on my way up there, every 5 minutes, I kid you not, somebody done whoop behind me. I'm like, somebody please. I was like, Lord. And I said, man, I had my cruise control on the whole time. And every time you looked up, the speed limit would change. So it was already doing the most when it come to that. Yeah, this is a whole nother mail carrier. That other dude got tired of his spirit, but he was everything. That man used to run up the steps and put my stuff at my door and everything. And he got so used to me, I ain't even have to show him ID. He knew it was me. If we ever like met each other in the hall when he was like dropping off the mail, that man was everything. I don't think he working no more. He probably quit knowing him, and I don't blame him, but he was everything. So anyway, sorry y'all. Y'all, I was so tired. I was like, Lord, I ain't never seen this. Like, y'all ain't got nothing else to do. And y'all, keep in mind, I'm glad I thought of this because I was going to forget. Child. When they started coming out of nowhere, it was close to where the so-called divorced man lived. I'm like, dang, of course, all the police and the state police and everybody, the sheriff, and all these people out here. They out here, you would think it's 4th of July weekend, the way they out here like they trying to meet a quota. I'm like, why is all y'all out here like this? What is going on? So, child, I was just like, man. Whew. Y'all, I'm sorry. My stomach is trying to try me. So, I rolled my eyes up, passing by that. I was like, see? I said, see, this how trash you are. Because at the time when I initially passed by, that was like an hour and a half, 2 hours before he was gonna have to be at work. So if he had been doing what he was supposed to do, we could have linked up, we could have had like a little date or something. Like, you know, I'm just, even though the situation ain't panning out the way I thought it was gonna pan out, I'm just saying, like, had he been truthful and actually been following through and did what he was supposed to do, that's a little situation we could have had. We could have had us a little date away from everybody. Like, I'm just like, child, y'all. And then like it was this crab place that was directly across from where I had to go. I was like, Okay, so this is what happened, y'all. I took my SIM card out of my phone and put it in my old phone, which was 2 phones ago. I accidentally forgot to send it in, so I got charged for not sending that in or whatever, meaning like I had to pay the whole price for the phone, which I didn't even care. I was doing the most work-wise anyway. I needed that anyway. I needed that phone. The most was popping off. This is like the second time I've needed this phone. I had already turned in my other phone by the time this screen got cracked. So I was like, Lord, don't nobody have time for this. So when I'm on the, hook, trying to figure out whether or not it's going to have to get sent in, mailed, or if I'm going to be able to submit a claim and then go an hour away to get it fixed, it was just up in the air as to whether or not I'm going to need my phone. So I'm like, well, at least I got it. So don't want to have to use it, but I do have it. So whatever. As soon as I put the SIM card in, and I make sure that it's allowing me to, have access to the maps, because I don't know where nothing at. Like, luckily everything was like right there, and I wasn't gonna have to get on no weird like expressway or whatever. Child, I was like, the first thing that popped up was this crab place that I had been hearing about, and it was just sitting in my face, and I was just like, oh my gosh, of course, things to do. And that's what popped up. Like, I didn't scroll and say, hey, what are some things to do while I'm here trying to kill time? It just literally popped up, and it like recognized my location. It was like, okay, this is something that you can do. And something told me to look straight up. I looked up from the phone. It was right in front of me. I said, because y'all know I can't eat shrimp and all that stuff. I don't know if I'm strictly just allergic to shrimp. I'm pretty sure it's shrimp and crabs. Found that out the hard way when I got my friend to do a seafood boil for me for my birthday this year. Developed an allergy out of nowhere after almost 40 years of eating it. Child, I can't. So waited forever for that. I kept going little places trying to preoccupy my time. I kept going to another place so I could make sure I could use the bathroom. It was hot. So, I stayed cool, but I'm just saying it was a hot day, y'all. And on top of all of that, on the way there, it was so windy that it kept trying to blow me off the road. I was like, oh my gosh. Oh, Lord, it was too much. It was way too much. But I got it done. Got back home. I had less than 3 hours of sleep. And that's why I was shocked that I was even able to get up and go to work, because I was so tired. So now that my screen is fixed, I'm gonna start back trying to make sure I call my buddy, who was my should have been baby daddy, because he and I haven't been able to talk for a while. And then when my screen broke, it was just a whole nother level of anxiety, annoyance, and everything else in between. So anyway, I'm about to go inside, y'all. My stomach is like really kind of trying to try me. I'm okay, but I just don't want it to get to another level, because when I move, right now, since I'm still, it's okay. But once I know, because when I got to get up, I got to go up these steps. So there's a chance it's going to try me when I do that. So I'm like, Lord, somebody please. But again, as I've already said before, it's all because of what I've been eating. I've been eating like trash. So that's how I'm going to feel. If you have never tried it and you still get menstrual cycles, eat the way you're supposed to eat and drink the way you're supposed to drink. You will have to sit up there and ask yourself, is my period even on? Like, I'm so serious. I've experienced that before, and it was lovely. It was amazing. Whew. If you want to know the way you can eat, I can tell you exactly what I did when I had to keep asking myself, was mine on? Child, that was an amazing time. I couldn't even believe it. I was like, wait a minute. Anyway, y'all, that's what's been going on as of late. I will try my best to hold off until my work week is over with to tell y'all about anything else that has developed. Hopefully I'll have an amazing rest of the week. I'm gonna try not to come on here bugging y'all unless something crazy done popped off, okay? All right, so it's hot where I'm at least. So y'all dress accordingly if it's cold and all that stuff. Y'all be safe out there. I will see y'all later on. Bye.